Hi, this is Phyllis, and welcome back to Make Jewelry with me. Today's project is going to be our crystal ladder bracelet that I am wearing. This bracelet is about 7¼ inches, and it flows smoothly and seamlessly around my wrist, and it doesn't take that long to make. And I'd like for you to hang around if you'd like to learn how to make this. We're using right angle weave technique. We're also going to do several things. We're going to make a ring with this pattern, and we're also going to make this a double bracelet and a triple bracelet so that I can teach you more of right angle weave and its inner workings. You're going to be fascinated, so hang around for my materials list and we'll get started. The materials for today's project are this amber color 2x3mm crystal. That's a green label that I got from Michaels. I've got the red label Bugle Beads. This package says 2 beads. They are 6mm in length, and the color here says purple green glass tubes. I'm going to be using some Mayuki Durcoat galvanized champagne size 11 seed beads. I'll use one of these lobster claw clasps from this package. This is going to be a 2 needle project, so I'm going to be using 2 needles. These are my tulips. I'll be using 2 wire guardians, and today I will use a soldered jump ring. Of course, I'm using my bead board. I'm using 6-pound fire line in the crystal color. My flat nose pliers for flattening the ends of the threads so that I can fit the thread through the eyes of the needles. And of course, my nippers. Let's get everything together and we'll get started. I have threaded my needles with 5 feet of my fire line, and to begin the project we're going to start by making our clasp. We're using the wire guardian, and remember the wire guardian is a bead and it has 2 holes. So I'm going to place the horseshoe facing me, and I'm going to pass my needles through each hole of this wire guarding, and I'm going to pull my thread and let the thread rest in the groove of the wire guardian. This crystal color is almost invisible in there, but it's resting in the groove here. And the next thing I'm going to do is slide my lobster claw on to one needle and just let it slide right down into the horseshoe of the wire guardian. And once I get here, I'm just going to pinch the guardian so that the bottom of the lobster claw doesn't slide out of it, and make sure that the thread is continuing to rest in the groove of the wire guardian. And pick up your needles and make sure that your threads are still even at the top. And I'm going to string on 1 size 11 seed bead, and I'm going to cross my needles through this 1 seed bead. Even up my threads and just slide that seed bead down to meet with the wire guardian, just like this. And on each needle I'm going to string on 3 of my size 11 seed beads, and I'm going to let those slide down to the bottom to meet with the single seed bead, and then I'm going to string on one of my bugle beads on one needle, and I'm going to pull it right off the needle, and I'm going to take my other needle and I'm going to cross it through the other direction. Just pass it through and just pull. And this is how we're beginning the project, just like this. I'm going to do that again. I'm going to string on a bugle bead on one needle, and I'm going to pull the bugle right off the needle, and I'm going to pass another thread there. These bugle beads can be dangerous. They can cut your thread, they're glass. So I'm doing this as just as a measure of protecting my my thread. I'm going to string on a size 11 seed bead and pass my size 11 seed bead on one needle. I'm going to pass the size 11 seed bead through that first bugle bead that I strung on, and I'm going to pull my thread. And with the other needle, I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to string on a size 11 seed bead, and I'm going to pass that needle through that first bugle bead. This is how we're going to begin the project, and also how we're going to end the length of this project at the other side. So to reposition, I'm going to pass my needle through this seed bead and pass through this bugle bead again, making sure to avoid the seed bead on the other side. And with the other thread, I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to pass the needle through this seed bead here, and then through the bugle on the other side, this second bugle here, making sure to avoid passing through that seed bead, that size 11 seed bead on the other side. And this now is where we're going to begin our pattern for the length of the bracelet. On each needle, we're going to string on a crystal. And then either needle, we're going to string on a bugle bead. And we're going to cross our needles through that bugle bead. And pull our thread. Continue, string on a crystal on each needle, and string on a bugle bead and cross your needles through that bugle bead. And this is how we're going to do this, your length. It's repetitious. You string on a crystal on each needle, and then you string on a bugle bead and cross your needles through the bugle bead. And you do this until you get to your length. String on each needle, and then you string on a bugle bead on either needle and cross your threads. And you can, I'm going to finish my length off camera, And the next time I will speak to you is when I get to the length, the other side of the bracelet. See you in a few. I've completed stringing the length of my bracelet minus the second half of my clasping, and I'm going to do that with you now. So I've gone ahead and just, finished our sequence of adding the crystals and the bugle beads, and now we're just going to string on another bugle bead and cross our needles through that bead. Pull the thread on either needle, string on a size 11 seed bead and pass that needle through the previous bugle bead, and we're going to do the same thing with the other needle. String on size 11 seed bead and pass that needle through that previous seed bead. Make sure you avoid the that seed bead. However, now you will have to pass your needle through. Sorry about that. I had to pass my needle through there, that seed bead, and pass my needle up through this seed bead on the other side, and go through my bugles again. One needle going through one direction, the other needle going in the opposite direction, and now we're going to string on the other side of the clasp by stringing 3 seed beads on each needle. And we will string on a seed bead and cross our needles through that seed bead. Now we're going to string on our wire guardian with one needle, with either needle. You pass up through the one hole of the wire guardian and all the way around, and let it sit in the groove. And because we are using a soldered jump ring, we're going to just slide that in there. And pinch the wire guardian closed. We're going to take the other needle now and pass it up through the wire guardian where the other needle is exiting. We're going to pass the second needle through where that other needle was exiting, and we're going to go around and go through the other. Make sure you go through your jump ring and through the other hole of the wire guardian. Make sure that your threads are resting in the groove of the wire guardian, otherwise this will not work. It will be a mess. It will not pull tightly, and it will not work. And there you have your tightened up clasping. Now you just have to close that up. You take either needle and you pass it through the seed bead that is right below the wire guardian, and then you can continue through the following 3 seed beads on that side. Pull the thread, and of course pull everything apart if you're me. And we're going to repeat that with the other needle. We're going to pass that needle through that size 11 seed bead that's right below the wire guardian. And then continue through the following 3 seed beads, if I can catch them. And pull your thread. And there you have it, bracelet. It's about a 7 1/4 inches. And then you just take either needle and pass it through the top bugle bead there, and once your threads meet, you tie them in a knot. And then you just pass your needle through the seed bead on that side and the bugle bead below it, and pull tightly. So you can pop your pop your knot right in between those beads. There you have it, the crystal ladder. We're going to nip off our threads. Just stretch that thread out and just nip that right off. Stretch the thread and nip the other side, and you have a completed bracelet. I hope you enjoyed this project, and I hope you make it. And I will see you soon next time. Bye.